All right, so follow along with me on the screen. This is John 1 through 2. It said, the Word was first, the Word present to God, God present to the Word. The Word was God, in readiness for God from day one. And the Word is Jesus, if you hadn't known that before. The Word became flesh and blood and moved into the neighborhood. We saw the glory with our own eyes, the one-of-a-kind glory, like Father, like Son, generous inside and out, true from start to finish. So last week, we played this game. You started with a paper clip, and you had to go door to door and trade your paper clip for something better, right? So some of you didn't get something better, but most of you got something better, right? Somebody ended up with that lawnmower over there. So anything can happen, right? So we talked about last week, Jesus feeding the 5,000. And with our lives, if we bring the little bit that we have, God's going to multiply it. God's going to show himself to us. But on our end, we got to say, hey, God, I want to give you my life. All right? So this week, I've kind of gotten a weird obsession with kangaroos. Who's ever heard of a kangaroo? They live in Australia, and I don't know why, but I'm fascinated with this animal, right? So I looked up some facts, and kangaroos only hop, by the way. They're the only animal that uses hopping as its primary mode of transportation. Bunnies, they hop, but they also run, okay? Kangaroos only hop. Just so you know. I know you were all wondering that when you got in. Also, when they're at full speed, kangaroos are faster than some racehorses. So think how fast those racehorses go. Kangaroos are faster. And some of them can jump 10 feet in the air. 10 feet, that's a basketball hoop. It's crazy. So, yeah, whatever. But you know what I mean. So, female kangaroos can determine if their baby Joey, not me Joey, but the kangaroo Joey, is a boy or a girl before it's born. They don't have doctors, but they can know if it's a boy or a girl. Kind of crazy. So, also, kangaroos are more present than people in Australia. There's more kangaroos than people. The pocket is a marsupial. Thanks for bringing that up. Marsupials are animals that have pockets, just in case you were wondering that as well. All right, so you've probably gotten sick of my kangaroo stories, but they also do one thing extremely well. So take a look at the screen. All right, we get the picture. So don't ever mess with a kangaroo, right? You will get crushed. Okay. So if I ever go to Australia, I'm going to observe at a distance, but I'm not going to get near one of those things. So everybody put on your imagination caps right now. Please put it on. I didn't see the back row. Please put it on. There you go. It's the only way this is going to work. Put mine on. Okay, so let's imagine that every kangaroo in Australia has contracted this rare disease, and they don't know it, but we're the only people in the world, all 30 of us, are the only ones that know that kangaroos have this disease. They don't even know it themselves. Now, we don't have any proof, but we know that they have this disease, okay? So, we could do a few things. We could try to learn kangaroo. You know, I think they teach that class at Navasota Junior High. We could try to, learn kangaroo, figure out how to communicate with them. We could try to catch all 2 million kangaroos. There's 30 of us. We got Jacob Steele, so we can do this, right? I mean, we'll just watch him do it all. And then we could say, you know what, kangaroos, I'm sorry, but I'm going to stay here in America and watch them die. But that would not be very humane, all right? We would not want to do that. We all love animals in here. Jamisha said her favorite animal is the kangaroo, so that's why we would not do that, right? You feel me? And then also, we could try to all live amongst the kangaroos, right? We could just, hunker down with them for a while. Paige could try to communicate to the kangaroos. She's an expert in that. Yeah, so yeah, Christy as well. I didn't know that, but I guess she does. But at the end of the day, we can't speak kangaroo, right? So how are we going to save these kangaroos? Here's the only solution. us humans, and Frankie, and all of us, we have to turn into kangaroos, okay? That is the only way that we're going to save them. And why is that? Because if we are a kangaroo, then we can speak kangaroo, right? And we can communicate to them. Now, some would probably listen, some wouldn't listen. That's okay. You know, some are stubborn. They're going to try to kick and fight you. But we'll tell as many as we can, right? And it'll spread the word. And you might be like, Joe, what does this have to do with anything, right? It actually has absolutely nothing to do with what we're going to talk about tonight. Just kidding. It does. God actually did that. Now, I'm not talking about kangaroos anymore. But if you look at humanity, if we can take our imagination caps off, take it off, throw it in the trash. Don't throw it in the trash, that would be good. But we look around, guys, and there's something inherently wrong with humanity. I think we'd all know that. There's wars, there's ISIS. We look at our political system. We look at our own thoughts, what we say, what we do. You know, it's unavoidable, right? There's something wrong, right? And a lot of times we don't even know it. A lot of times we're so blind. So God, He could have easily just spoken from this cloud or this rock or tree and said, you guys are screwed, have fun, trying to figure this out on your own, right? God could have said that. Or He could have said, all right, I'm going to become a human and talk to you guys so that you guys know what's going on. So Jesus, who we talked about last week, we're going to be talking about a lot, is 100% man, 100% God, and all you math majors out there that means it's 200%. Now, how can you have 200%? Jesus is the only person that's ever been 200%. Mike, he's 100% Mike. Jacob, 90% Jacob, 10% beast, right? Hayden, 100% Hayden. You know, so we can't be 200%. We can't be more than 100%. But Jesus is 200%. I was just kidding. Jacob is actually just 100%. So that's just it. But why am I telling you guys this? So if God thought, hey, I'm going to put on skin, right? I'm just going to put flesh on and live amongst mankind. That'd be kind of crazy. But you know what? He didn't just like snap his fingers and genie in a bottle appear on the scene and say, hey, I'm Jesus. That would have been a little weird. He came as a baby. He went through 9 months of the birth process. A God inside a lady. What the heck, right? And then he comes out and he grows up till he's about 30. He's a normal dude. He's a carpenter. He's a construction worker down the street. Normal guy. Now, why did he do this? It's because he wanted to relate to us. He wanted mankind to see, okay, God cares about us, and He's going to say some things about us that we need to hear, right? If He just spoke from a cloud or kind of scared us with some earthquakes and stuff like that, yeah, that might get us our attention for a second, but then we'd be on our way. But here's the kicker question. Why does this even matter? You know, a lot of times we're trying to get to God, you know? And if we think about it for a second, that's kind of absurd. Like, I'm trying to do good things to get to God. And newsflash, it's always going to fall short, right? You never do enough good things. You can never run far enough. You can never try all these weird rituals. You know, you could just, it's not going to work. But the cool thing is that God came down to humanity. This is the only religion in the world where God came to mankind. All the other religions say, hey, you got to do X, Y, and Z to get to God. And you know what they're doing? They're doing it like crazy, and they never have peace. So here's what we're going to talk about tonight in small groups, guys. How can we know that Jesus relates to us if He's been on earth? He hasn't been on earth for 2,000 years. How can we know, right? He's invisible now. How can we relate to somebody that's invisible, right? And that's a lot of questions that I asked myself in high school. Like, God, what's the deal? How do I have a relationship with you? I'm a mess, right? And that's one of the biggest questions we ask. Like, God, I can't even see you. How do I know all this stuff in the Bible is true? How do I know you lived 2,000 years ago? So that's what we're going to talk about tonight, guys. I'm going to pray. Girls are going to have with Heather around the corner. Guys are going to have with me to the man cave. And we'll continue the discussion. Guys,